When the playwright sends his plays out to these theaters, no matter how large or small the theater might be, there usually is going to be someone on that theater staff who is responsible for receiving these play submissions, reading them, and determining their worth as far as that particular theater is concerned. Are they the type of show that the theater enjoys producing? Suppose, and playwrights have this awareness because they do their research. Suppose the theater is committed to doing plays for children and young people. Well, playwrights who have written plays for adults will probably not send their plays to that theater. Um, that theater will receive submissions from playwrights who write plays for children and young people. So this is the awareness that you have when you are trying to promote your play. But the person on that theater staff who receives these play submissions is called the literary manager. The literary manager's job, of course, is to read the plays, determine their potential for that theater company, then share those plays with members of the staff, producers, directors, theater artists, designers who are focused on finding plays for that theater to determine whether or not it's a good fit for the theater. Literary managers also are committed to, if this is a new play, for example, someone has written a play and our theater is the first theater to produce it. That literary manager will work one on one with the playwright in an effort to find the best version of the play possible. This benefits the theater, certainly, but also the playwright. We have met with the playwright and we have collaborated and come up with a great version of the play for production. This is the literary manager's responsibility. If the play, for example, is written in another language that needs to be translated, the literary manager will be involved in making that translation happen and providing it for the director and the cast, etc. Another position with a theater company that is related to the literary manager position, but is a little more active and involved in the production, is someone whose position is called dramaturg. A dramaturg is an in house critic. They are responsible for making what is translated from the written text into the performance as true, as realistic, as effective as possible. They're fact checkers, they're historians, they do the research, they help point directors and actors in the right direction if they are going for a truthful telling of this story. Um, Things that just don't work. Um, I had a case. This is a very interesting story where one of my students went to see a play to critique, to write their response on, write their review of. And they saw it. And as I was reading the review, as I was reading the paper, I noticed that this student was very focused on details. Um, in particular, this was a contemporary play, contemporary in the sense that it was in the 21st century, about written in 2006. The action of the play was set in 2006. Well, in 2023, a theater produced this play locally, and my student decided they wanted to go and see it there. So they did. One aspect of the play that stood out for him was a mistake in costuming. One of the characters wore a football jersey, and I can't remember which national football team they played on, but it had a player's name on the back of it. The student noticed that the player didn't come on to the team until maybe 2020. And here it is being worn by a character in a play dated 2006. He took note of this and commented on it in his paper, which I thought was outstanding because one thing that we have to realize in producing plays is that we must never underestimate the attention and the intelligence and the awareness of the audience because he knew that this was wrong. A skilled dramaturg would have caught that and said, no, this will not fly. This is not what we want. This is inaccurate. Um, Awareness of character. Uh, Sometimes we actors research characters. We do it all the time. We have to, but there are certain details that we aren't aware of. Um, for example, physical responses to things, uh, gestures, contemporary gestures that we use cannot be used by a character in a play from the 19th century. We don't do that. We don't do this. We don't do that. So these things have to be recognized and pointed out. Chances are a good director will certainly point that out for you or recognize that and say, no, that doesn't fly. Music, um, movement. In some cases, you have to be very specific about details. For example, sound. I directed a play that is set in World War II, set during World War II, and there is gunfire during the play. Well, that gunfire cannot be modern gunfire. You're not hearing a lot going off anywhere. This is something where accuracy is key because there will be someone in the audience to point out to you that that is not accurate. Weapons didn't sound like that in 1942. They just didn't. So the dramaturg is there to do research. Suppose I'm directing a play that is set in 1977 in Sumter, South Carolina. Now, I was alive in 1977 in Sumter, South Carolina, so I kind of know what was going on. But you give this to a younger director with younger actors, they're not going to have any clue about it. That's where the value of a dramaturg is crucial. Just providing that information, even if that information isn't used in the context or in the play. Knowing the most popular song on AM radio in 1977. What was the most popular car? The median household income in Sumter, South Carolina. Things like that, which might not impact the storytelling so much, not from the written text itself, but it will certainly influence the performance of the actors, the characterization, their research, what they are able to create, and also the work of designers, uh, the director, choreographer, should it be a musical, all of it. So, playwriting, creating the work that is to be translated from the written text to the stage. Literary management, receiving submissions of those plays to consider whether or not they are a good fit for the theater. And finally, the role of the dramaturg, the researcher, the fact checker, the in house critic whose job it is to catch these uh, possible errors or discrepancies. I'll be back.